Hey, cyber students, welcome back to TA 122 Online. So, in 2 days, on Wednesday, we will all be seeing Festin at the Queen Mary, or you'll be seeing Festin. I'll be up on stage. Some of you have written and gotten alternate dates, and that's all good. For those of you who have not and will not be attending on Wednesday, please do let me know. We need to make sure that you'll see the show in time to write your paper. It's important that everybody writes this first paper. I've given you a very, very detailed prompt and detailed instructions. Again, the instructions are under assignments, and the prompts are under prompts on your beach board. Please write me if you have any questions. I know some of you are probably English majors and thinking, I don't need this much structure. I know how to write already. And that's fine if that's the case. Just bear with me with the training wheels on this one. And we'll give you a little bit more free form room on your second paper. But I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page about what is required for a university paper. Otherwise, what's the point in us doing them, right? So please do use the structure of the thesis, the sample thesis statement that I gave you. But within that structure, you can insert whatever opinions you want, just as long as you have that although and because clause and that you really outline your entire paper within that thesis statement, and that you really stay on target, that your developmental paragraphs really stay on target. This is not stream of consciousness. You don't indent randomly. We only start a new paragraph when we have a new, when we're supporting our thesis with a new set of observations or a new set of facts. Okay. So whether you go through downtown Long Beach or whether you take the 710, once you get through the gate into the Queen Mary, you'll make a left and you'll immediately start seeing signs directing you to CalRep parking. Just know we have our own parking lot that is just near the entrance to the Royal Theater on board the Queen Mary. It should be pretty easy for you to find. All of the instructions and directions are under UP and CalRep on our beach board. Please write me if you have any questions coming up to Wednesday here. And also, I just wanted to remind you that because I am in the show, it's an even greater reason for you to go to that discussion board, because I want everybody to post to the discussion board right after they see the show and really, really lay on your most critical opinions. And they can be positive or negative, but I really want to hear what you thought about the acting, about the theatrical content, about the attempt at psychological realism when it was part of the production, about the production team and the work that was done by the designers, about the direction of the show, and about the playwright's vision, about the way Eldridge interpreted this film for the stage. And specifically about my performance as an actor. I really, really enjoy sort of hearing students' honest reactions to my work on stage. I'm a teacher and an actor, and really an amateur actor, and so it's fun for me to hear what you guys think. So please don't pull any punches. As a matter of fact, it's good for your grade to tear into my performance. It's good for it because it gives us a platform to really talk about, and I think that we can be a little bit more honest because we're talking about my work, and so we can get more of an honest dialogue going between us, and I think that's kind of fun. Okay, so I wanted to talk briefly about Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 before we go to see Festin. So, of course, Chapter 3 is the playwright's vision. And within Chapter 3 is Joe Turner's Come and Gone, a play by August Wilson. August Wilson is, I think, well, not arguably, he is one of the most important African-American playwrights of the 20th century. Really, forget African-American, probably one of the most important playwrights of the 20th century. And I think that the main reason for that is that thematically his plays are completely timeless. And I think really without racial border too. Obviously they have themes that often live around the African-American experience in this country, and the experience certainly in this play of migration and identity. But America being the melting pot that it is, migration and identity are themes that I think everyone in this country can relate to in a way that's really poignant, really means something to us, especially as we start to look at what our presence as Americans means globally. We're kind of stuck in an intractable war right now in Afghanistan, just barely getting out of Iraq. And our influence abroad is, I think, really, we've come to question what our role is and how positive our influence is globally, how positive Western influence is globally, and how we can find a balance of the different cultural perspectives. And so in that way, Wilson's plays are very much timeless. And as we've discussed, the theater exists as a visual art form, a performance art form, and a literary art form in the play. And that literary form is the only one that doesn't die. It's the only one that's timeless. Which is why when you write your papers, when you write about the production, you write in the past tense. When you write about the play, you write in the present. So when you're writing about August Wilson's play, you write in the present. But when you write about what one of the actors did in the production of August Wilson's play, you write in the past, because that production is in the past. The literature is in the present. Following those rules will really help you keep an eye on the issue of parallelism when you're writing your papers, and of keeping your tenses straight. So the chapter further goes into sort of the role of the playwright and the way that they culturally, ethnically, historically derive the material that they cover in terms of theme, in terms of motif, and in terms of symbol. Themes, of course, are the fundamental issues that are addressed, the concepts that are addressed by this literary art form. The motifs are the reoccurring structures or structural ideas, concepts, theatrical conventions that are used to strengthen and really display those themes, convey those themes to the audience. And then symbols are the semiotics. They're the figures and the peoples, the images, the colors that represent the abstract ideas that, again, strengthen those themes and concepts. And the chapter 3 further goes into the way that the entire production team comes together to bring these themes, motifs, and symbols to bear on the stage. So in Joe Turner's Come and Gone, obviously one of the large themes is the idea of identity and migration and finding a place in a new world throughout the play. Further, clearly, racial identity and discrimination is a huge theme in the play. But I think, really, identity as an individual and who you are, not just through bloodline, not just through ethnicity, not just through culture, not just through faith, but who you are as an individual, is probably the most meaningful theme, and why this play is just as relevant to, half Jew, half Catholic, white guy who grew up in LA as it is to, somebody who actually is experiencing the actual immigrant experience right now, just coming from another country, be they African American or otherwise. I think that we all are on a personal search for identity, and that the idea of finding your song, and I think that the idea of music and rhythm and chanting is a motif that really helps us in a kinesthetic way experience that theme of finding who you are, your personal identity, throughout the play, and that the individual, the idea of an individual song and the search for it is a motif that actually pushes the narrative forward from the exposition through the rising conflict into the climax and towards the denouement. In terms of symbols for this play, there's the idea of the shiny man, right? The ideal African, the idea of blood and hands, which relates to identity. I posted a discussion board, and I'd like you guys to list a few more themes, motifs, and symbols from Joe Turner's Come and Gone.